Hello everyone, this is Wendy with Winds of Change Ministries, and I just arrived in Georgia in the wee hours of the morning. And it's so funny because when I made plans on getting to Georgia, it's not like everyone says, oh, I can't wait to get to Georgia. Oh, yay, I want to go to Georgia. Well, anyway, so I just wanted to get over the state line, do my little flag routine, and head on to Alabama. And I have to say, I did a road search, what's the closest town over the Georgia line, the Florida Georgia line, and it was St. Mary's. And I said, oh, I'm going to stop there. And I have to say, I came in the wee hours of the morning. It was still dark, and I just kind of let the Holy Spirit guide me, and I looked up a park, and I came to the park that's on the river, the riverfront park, and look at this. I'm so surprised with how welcoming this town is. So I'm in my van, and that says that I can stay here at the park for 36 hours and for free. So basically free RV parking, because the parking, as you can see, is a lot longer than my van. So this park is made for travelers. And anyway, I have already walked around the park, and I just could not believe the atmosphere here is just really nice. And so I want to do a quick tour around the park that welcomed me so nicely in the wee hours of the morning. And Dexter's having a little walk; he's enjoying himself. But anyway, St. Mary's, when I came in, I saw historical downtown this, historical downtown that. So here's the entrance of the park. And I don't know if you can tell in that wall, but it's made up of seashells. And that's just really neat. So, all right. This area is really beautiful because the trees, can you see that back there? They're all moss covered. It's got moss covered trees. And here we are walking the landscape. Now, right behind me, that is the St. Mary's River. And it is the border of Georgia and Florida. That is the borderline. So let's take a look at this together. It's just absolutely beautiful. And out on the river, there's all kinds of fishing and piers. And check this out. This caught my eye a little while ago, and I thought, oh, that is so cute. It says, Little Free Library. So basically, I could just borrow the book, unlock this, borrow the book, and just return it when I'm done. So I can sit in this beautiful park reading and eating. It's got picnic tables. Let's see what kind of books it has. Well, I see a Joel Osteen book. And let's see. An Ellen DeGeneres book. Bloomsbury Girls. I don't know. I don't recognize a whole lot of the, a Stephen King, The Dark Tower by Stephen King. Anyway, this park has tons of gazebos and covered seating and picnic areas. And it even has an amphitheater. So right there's an amphitheater. Piers, and it's got a bait shop, and it's got kayaks. If I had a GoPro camera, I might have been tempted to get out on a kayak with you guys. But anyway, one of the things I also saw early this morning as I got up was I noticed, check this out. Do you see that? swings for adults. So here I am, sitting in the swing, which, you know, I haven't sat in the swing in many, many years. And I'm just kind of enjoying the view. You see my feet? I don't know, are they up there? So, what can I say about Georgia? So far, it seems like a very nice state, and St. Mary's, you know, I hold that dear to my heart since my name means the Spirit of Mary. And but I'm going to explore this town a little further. There's the river, but it also, I guess, has beachfront. I don't know. I'll check it out because I think it has beachfront somewhere. But I'm going to check out this historical downtown area and do a flag routine before I head out. I would love to stay and explore Georgia further, but I really do want to head on home to Arkansas and wait out the rest of the winter. So I'm just going to be whipping through these southern states and getting home. Hello, everyone. So I am now in downtown St. Mary's. The ferry boat is fixing to take off, and this is historic downtown St. Mary's. It kind of reminds me of Mayberry. I'm standing in the street and there's just no traffic, okay? Very little traffic. This is midday lunchtime, and it reminds me of Mayberry, just a nice quiet town. But the architecture dates back to some of it back to the early 1800s. This particular building right here is the Seagulls Restaurant and Lounge, and it goes to 1926, and I am going to be having something to eat there. So, but hey, you know what? I did discover, oh look, this is a cannon from a Spanish vessel. Date is unknown according to that little plaque there. But anyway, this is a very, very old town. It goes all the way back to the to the early colonial days. Okay, that's where we're at. Oh, look at the little sparkles of the sun just shining all over me. How cool! That's neat. Anyway, so yes, I have something special to share with you that I just discovered as I was doing research about this town, and I will share that with you and give my little sermon for the day in a moment. But first, I'm going to eat something. Well, I ordered blackened salmon, a loaded potato, and some asparagus. And I figured that the loaded potato would have the bacon in a little cup like this, and they didn't, unfortunately. And so I had to dig out half of my contents because I don't eat bacon. I don't eat ham. So there went half my potato. But anyway, I'm sure the rest of this is going to be really good. It's the middle of January, and a lot of people are still cleaning off the Christmas decorations, the paintings and pictures in the windows of the storefronts. And I saw this. I saw a moment ago, and I wanted to show you. Do you see that in the mirror in the window? Do you see it? It's a leg lampshade, and for those of you who are familiar with A Christmas Story, that is one of my favorite Christmas movies. Be careful with that BB gun, you'll shoot your eye out, right? But anyway, so this lazy, relaxed town, here we are a month later after Christmas, and they still have the Christmas festivity up. I tell you what, check this out. that beautiful bed and breakfast. Now, I tell you, what I need to do is I really need to figure out how to get sponsored by some of these bed and breakfasts as I travel across the country. That would be fantastic, visiting bed and breakfasts. This is the Spencer House, established in 1872. I wonder if they have room for me. That would be so wonderful. But anyway, also across the way is an old church. That one, I'm not sure what that church is named, but I tell you, it's teeny tiny. I mean, I don't think you could fit more than maybe 30 people in it. It's like a classroom size. Anyway, lots of really cute architecture going down the street, but I'm still heading towards that special destination I was speaking about. I just can't stop showing off this place. Look at that tree full of, I don't know if they're oranges or lemons. They're like the shape of oranges, but they're the color of lemons. Maybe they're just not quite, maybe they're oranges, they're just not quite ripe. I don't know. I don't know what orange trees look like or lemon trees look like, but look at that. It is loaded. So I had to stop once again because I found some low-hanging tree moss and I wanted to feel it. I wanted to know, what does that feel like? Is it soft like a feather? Is it bristly and hard? And I can tell you, it's a strange mix of both. So it's kind of coarse and kind of soft, both at the same time. It's got some spring to it. Anyway, I wanted to know, and now I do. So here we are, just across the street of the destination I wanted to show you. Let's see. Do you see that church? That church, it's the First Presbyterian Church, and it was established in, let's see, right here, 1808. Now, what's special about this church? Because I've passed a few. What is special about that church is that bell up there was casted by the famous Paul Revere. Yep, Paul Revere. And there aren't a whole lot of surviving bells left, but this church has one of them. So, in light of being right here at this church that has a Paul Revere bell, I've decided I want to talk about freedom. And, because, let freedom ring, right? So, Paul Revere was known to be the one who, during the Revolutionary War, he was a hero who kind of sounded the alarm and let everyone know that the British were coming. And so anyway, the Revolutionary War happened because the colonial people didn't feel like they were being adequately represented by the matriarch, right? The mother country. And so they revolted. They had the Revolutionary War because they wanted freedom. In recent years, there has been an attack on our freedom, right? Many of you may recall this and this. There are a lot of people who recognized that it was a spiritual war that was going on. As our liberties were being challenged. And those people, myself included, chose not to succumb to the tyranny. And so a lot of us regard ourselves as the chosen ones, the remnant, the warriors of light, the 144,000. Those who didn't follow the dictates of man, but followed the Holy Spirit. And, I've mentioned in previous videos that we are entering a new era, an era that is led by the Holy Spirit. During the Revolutionary War, we had heroes. We had real heroes who loved God, who put "in God we trust" on all our money, on all our currency, and they loved God. In recent years, that trust in God has gone out the window. We've removed God from our classrooms, from our Pledge of Allegiance, from our civil buildings, courthouses and different things like that. And now we have, our currency is slowly but surely being replaced by Bitcoin. Does Bitcoin say "in God we trust"? No, it doesn't. All right. So God has been slowly pushed out of modern society. When the test happened, the trials and tribulations that separated the wheat from the tares, many people in the old system, they didn't trust in God. Right? They didn't. They trusted in man. And they encouraged their flocks, their followers, their sheep to take it, right? To be silent and just take it. So our liberties were challenged, and many of us were silenced. But those who listened to the Holy Spirit didn't follow the dictates of men. They challenged the system, and here we are today. We're older, we're wiser. We can look back and have 20/20 vision on exactly what happened. Some of us knew what was happening before it happened. I'm one of them. I knew, but I was not allowed to speak. So before the happened, just as it Operation Warp Speed was well underway, I prayed to God, and I said, this can't be. We can't have this. No. We can't have this. We got to warn the people. We have to warn the people. But I knew I was, at the time, told to be silent. And so I took it to prayer, and I asked God, please send people to warn the people, send others. And that night, after I cried myself to sleep, I had a dream that I was in heaven, and I was in the lower courts of heaven. And the atmosphere was very much like a city meeting, is what it was like. There was a panel of judges up ahead, and they were listening to people in the audience. In this room was packed full of people. I was one of many. Talk about this topic. And I shared everything that I knew. And when I was done, then another gentleman shared his opinions, and we were kind of battling back and forth. And when I was done speaking, I left this lower court. And I started walking through this veranda, I guess is what it would be called. It was beautiful, pink marble columns. It was just absolutely beautiful. Anyway, this guy who was challenging me in front of everyone, he called out to me. And so I stopped and waited for him to catch up. And when he finally did catch up, he threatened me. He said, if you don't back off, then I'm going to attack your little Bible project. And he said it very snarky. And I woke up just like that. And I woke up very upset. I couldn't believe that this entity had challenged me. And so I cried out to God. I was like, why? Why did he challenge me? Why did he threaten me? He threatened me with, right? That's what he threatened me with. Anyway, or I'll attack you. And so anyway, I woke up and I cried out to God, and I got a download from God with complete understanding. The Holy Spirit told me that He was, these are the end time trials and tribulations, and there was going to be a great sorting. And I was told that this is a test. I was told before it was even released to the public. I knew, but I couldn't talk about it. And anyway, and I was told that many believers, right? Many believers would fail the test. And many non-believers would pass the test. What's the difference? Because there are a lot of people that aren't Christian who actually do have a relationship with the Holy Spirit. They just don't identify the Holy Spirit as, what Christians believe, all right? And so they have a relationship. They talk to God. They just don't follow a religion. I was told many of them would pass, and many of them would fail. So what's the difference? Well, if you recall, a lot of the shepherds wanted everyone to just take the, so that things could get back to normal. They just wanted things to get back to normal. They didn't put their trust in God. They put their trust in man. So here we are now, a few years later, and many people who put their trust in God see the hypocrisy of a lot of denominations. The problem with denominational churches are that they follow their man-made dictates. But we serve a living God. He has ebbs, he has flows. He sends out prophets to talk for him and to teach people. But the problem with denominational churches are they're stagnant. If it's not written in the good book in a way that they can understand, then they don't want to hear about it. Now, I can see things. I can read between the lines, and I can unravel the hidden mysteries because God has trained me to. And so that's why I was able to know. I had discernment and I knew what was going on because I could read between the lines. And the Holy Spirit is my guide and comforter, my teacher. And I put my trust in God. I don't put my trust in man. And that's not an attack on the church. The teachings in the Bible are good. Right? A lot of people have a problem with the church because they have wounds from their childhood. I myself, I have childhood wounds related to the church. And And yet it has nothing to do with the church. And yet it does. And yet it doesn't. And yet it does. So I ran from God. Because I put my hurts, I blamed God for my hurts rather than put the blame where it really belonged. And that was the man who hurt me. Okay? And, but mankind is flawed. Even if they are religious, we are flawed. I make mistakes. You make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Don't put your trust in men. Put your trust in God. Put your trust in the Holy Spirit, and you'll be okay. As I've mentioned before, we are entering a new season. It is the season of oil. As the third shepherd, the Holy Spirit guides people into truth. What happens when you have truth? You are set free. And so the Holy Spirit has come to set the captives free. God is sending a fresh wind to bring revelation, restoration, and revival. My name is Wendy, and we're all living in the winds of change. So, as I said before, I'm not staying in Georgia very long. I'm actually going to go ahead and travel on to Alabama through the night, and I'm just trying to hurry home. I do have my little Georgia keepsake, and let's see. There you go. It says St. Mary, Georgia, and I liked this because, well, it's got a little mermaid on it. And when I gave my message at the Basilica of St. Mary, Star of the Sea, when I did that, across the street was a bed and breakfast, and it had a mermaid. So anyway, yep, that's my keepsake for Georgia. And let's see. There we go. We'll call this done deal, and off to Alabama we go.